This story begins in a small town in Pakistan. It is not a fictional story. It is the real life of a girl who grew up in a house filled with violence, fear, and pain. Her story is not about a normal childhood. It is about survival. Her earliest memories start when she was only 1 year old. Most children at that age remember colors, toys, or the sound of their mother's voice. But she remembered fear. She remembered loud voices, screaming, and the sound of things breaking. The home where she opened her eyes was always full of shouting. Her father was the biggest reason for her fear. Every day, he shouted at her mother, insulted her, and beat her. There were no peaceful moments, no loving words, no normal family life. The little girl learned very early that when her father's footsteps sounded angry, danger was close. Her mother suffered silently. She cried many nights, but she still woke up every morning hoping things might change. But they never did. The violence only increased with time. When the girl reached 5th grade, her father's behavior became even worse. He started using bad words for his own daughter. He insulted her in front of relatives. He didn't talk to her with kindness even once. She grew up thinking this was normal, that a father always hurts people. In 7th grade, something happened that broke her completely. One day, when she returned home from school, her mother was gone. One of her relatives had forced her mother to leave the house. That young girl stood in the doorway silently, not understanding what had happened. Her mother was her only support, and now she was gone. Her father did not care. He didn't comfort his daughter. He didn't even try to bring his wife back. It was as if their pain meant nothing to him. Without her mother, the girl felt lost. Her home turned into a prison. She cried quietly every night, wishing her mother would return. But days passed, and nothing changed. After some time, her mother came to take her away. Her mother could not bear living without her daughter, and the girl felt that same love. That day, the girl understood two things. A mother's love is the most sincere love. Her father never wanted her happiness. The girl left her father's house with her mother. But life didn't suddenly become easy. Her father started calling them, threatening them, and abusing them over the phone. Sometimes he even came to their new home and created scenes outside. It was as if he wanted to ruin their peace again and again. Despite all this, her mother stayed strong. She took care of her daughter, but the girl now had deep emotional wounds. She had seen so much yelling, fighting, and violence that she didn't know what a normal home looked like. When she reached 9th grade, her mother remarried. Her new stepfather was a good man, respectful and kind. But because of her childhood trauma, the girl could not easily trust anyone. Even when people talked to her kindly, she kept waiting for their anger, because that's what she had learned all her life. Love turns into violence, people turn into threats. The girl was young, but she had experienced more pain than most adults do in their entire lifetime. She had not grown up with love, she had grown up with fear. This chapter shows the foundation of her life. The fear from her childhood shaped her personality. Her father, who should have protected her, became her biggest nightmare. Her mother, who was her only support, was separated from her again and again. Her childhood taught her only one thing: survival. This was the beginning of a journey that would later take her into much deeper emotional struggles. After leaving her father's house, the girl hoped life would finally become peaceful. But trauma does not disappear quickly. It stays inside, quietly shaping how a person thinks, feels, and reacts. In her new home with her mother and stepfather, things were different. There was no shouting, no violence, no fear. Her stepfather treated her with respect. He tried to make her comfortable, but the girl felt like she didn't belong anywhere. She had lived so many years in fear that her mind didn't know how to trust peace. Even small sounds made her anxious. If someone raised their voice slightly, her heart raced. If someone walked too fast, she became alert. If someone closed the door loudly, she felt as if danger had returned. This is what childhood trauma does: it follows a person silently. At school, she pretended to be normal. She laughed with friends, studied, talked, and acted like everything was okay. But deep inside, she carried heavy emotional pain. She never shared her past with anyone, not even her closest friends. She had learned long ago that sharing your pain could be used against you. When she entered ninth grade, she felt new pressure. Her mother and stepfather wanted her to focus on studies. They gave her more freedom than her father ever had, but she still felt controlled by her memories. Sometimes she sat alone at night, thinking about her childhood. She wondered why her father hated her so much. She wondered if she had done something wrong. She wondered why she wasn't worthy of love. These thoughts damaged her self-esteem. She grew up believing she was not good enough. She didn't deserve love. People would eventually hurt her. Even though none of this was true, trauma made her believe it. In 10th grade, she started using social media more. Not for attention, but to escape from her thoughts. She liked taking pictures, making short videos, and writing small captions. She felt peaceful there, because she controlled her own world. Online, no one shouted at her. No one insulted her. No one scared her. But with social media came new problems. People judged her. People messaged her. Some people praised her looks. Some people insulted her. At first she ignored everything. But slowly, one message changed her life. A boy texted her. A normal, simple message. He liked her video and wanted to talk. Normally she ignored such messages, but that day, she replied, not because she was interested, but because she was lonely. She wanted someone to listen. She wanted someone who could understand her pain without judging her. They started talking daily. He was kind, gentle, and patient. He asked about her hobbies, her studies, her dreams. For the first time in years, she felt important. She felt seen. She felt valued. But trauma has its own rules. The more you love someone, the more you fear losing them. As the days passed, she grew attached to him. She waited for his messages. She smiled when he texted. She felt warm when he called her by her name. She started believing he might be different, someone who would not hurt her like her father did. But trauma victims often misread things. They see danger where there is none. They see abandonment even when no one is leaving. One day, the boy didn't reply for several hours. Maybe he was busy. Maybe he was just tired. But to her, it felt like rejection. All the old feelings returned at once: fear, insecurity, confusion, panic. She thought, maybe he is bored of me. Maybe I am not good enough again. Maybe he will leave just like everyone else. When he finally replied at night, she didn't respond. She wanted to protect herself. She wanted to avoid getting hurt. This became a pattern. Whenever he got busy, she pulled away. Whenever he got close, she pushed him back. She didn't understand that love cannot heal trauma on its own. It takes time, patience, and understanding. As weeks passed, misunderstandings grew. He felt she didn't trust him. She felt he didn't understand her. One day, they stopped talking completely. There was no fight, no argument, no closure. Just silence. It broke her more than she expected. For the first time since her childhood, she had trusted someone, and now he was gone. She cried for days, wondering why her life was always filled with loss. But slowly, she realized something important. The boy was not the problem. Her trauma was. She had spent so many years in fear that even kindness felt dangerous. Love felt risky. People felt temporary. She was fighting a battle inside her that no one else could see. This chapter marks the point where her story begins shifting from pain to awareness. She started understanding that her emotional wounds needed healing, not hiding. For the first time, she asked herself, how long will I keep suffering because of something I did not cause? And that question would lead her to the most difficult stage of her life, facing her trauma. After losing the boy she trusted, the girl felt empty again. She thought she had healed, but now she realized that some wounds never truly disappear until a person faces them directly. The silence between them became a heavy weight on her chest. She tried to distract herself, but everything reminded her of him: the ringtone, the late-night messages, the small inside jokes. Every night before sleeping, she looked at their old chats. Every morning, she hoped he would text again. But nothing happened. Instead of becoming angry, she became quieter. Instead of crying loudly, she cried silently. Instead of sharing her feelings, she locked them deeper inside. This is what emotional trauma does. It turns pain into a habit. The fear of being left behind. The boy had not left her out of cruelty. He simply didn't understand the depth of her fear. She never told him why she reacted the way she did. She never shared her childhood, her father's torture, or her years of emotional damage. She hid everything behind a smile because she feared he would think she was too broken. So he never understood her silence. And she never understood his distance. Both were hurting, but neither knew how to speak. Days turned into weeks. Her studies suffered. She lost interest in hobbies. Even social media, her escape, began to feel pointless. She started deleting old photos, videos, and memories. It felt like she was trying to erase herself. But the truth was, she wasn't sad because of the boy. She was sad because she lost the first person she had trusted after years of fear. The start of her mental decline. Slowly, she developed signs of anxiety and depression. Loss of appetite. Overthinking small things. Feeling tired all the time. Crying without reason. Nightmares about her father. Sudden panic during the day. Her mother noticed she was changing. She asked many times, "Is something bothering you? Are you okay? Why are you so quiet?" But the girl always replied, "I'm fine." How could she explain something she barely understood herself? The return of past trauma. One night, she had a nightmare about her father beating her. She woke up shaking, sweating, and crying. It felt as if she had traveled back in time. She realized that the past was not gone, it was still alive inside her. She started feeling scared again. Scared of loud noises. Scared of arguments. Scared of losing people. Scared of trusting anyone. Her mind was telling her, everyone leaves. No one stays. Don't trust anyone. You are not enough. She wanted to fight these thoughts, but she didn't know how. The second person who entered her life. During this depressive phase, someone else entered her life. Not a boy, a friend. A girl from her school noticed her sadness and started spending more time with her. She was calm, soft-spoken, and understanding. She didn't ask many questions. She just sat with her, shared lunch, and listened. For the first time, the girl realized that not all relationships are romantic. Some friendships save you more than love ever can. Her new friend gave her confidence. She reminded her that she was strong. She helped her understand that trauma was not her fault. She told her that healing takes time, but it is possible. Slowly, the girl opened up. She shared small pieces of her past. Not everything, but enough for her friend to understand her pain. This was the first step toward healing. The one message that changed everything. Months later, unexpectedly, her phone buzzed. It was him. The boy she once trusted. The message was simple. "Are you okay?" Her heart skipped a beat. Old memories returned. Old emotions resurfaced. She didn't know whether to reply or ignore him. Should she protect herself again? Or give him a chance? Her hands shook as she held her phone. The past was standing in front of her again, asking for an answer. This was a turning point in her life. A moment that would decide whether she healed or broke again. And this is where chapter 3 ends, on the edge of a decision that could change her entire story. The message "Are you okay?" stayed on her screen for several minutes. Her heart was beating fast. She didn't know whether to smile or cry. A single message brought back months of memories, the late-night chats, the laughter, the comfort, and the unexpected silence that broke her. She stared at the screen, confused. Should she reply? Should she ignore it? Should she protect herself from more pain? For the first time, she wasn't scared of him. She was scared of her own feelings. Facing the past. After thinking for a long time, she typed a simple reply. "I'm fine. You?" Her message was short, but her hands were shaking. She waited for his response. When he replied immediately, she felt something she had not felt in months, calmness. He apologized for disappearing. He said he was dealing with his own problems. He said he never meant to hurt her. He admitted he thought she didn't want him anymore because she always pulled away. And for the first time, She explained why she behaved the way she did. Not fully, but enough. I get scared when people pull away. I think they will leave me forever. I don't know why I am like this. There was a long pause before he replied. It's okay. I understand now. Healing begins. They started talking again, but this time things were different. She didn't hide her emotions. He didn't assume things. They communicated honestly. She learned something very important. People are not mind readers. If you don't speak, they don't know your pain. Gradually, she began to heal. She learned to trust slowly. She learned to express her fears. She learned that not everyone is like her father. She learned that some people genuinely care. Her anxiety didn't disappear completely, but now she knew how to control it. When she felt overwhelmed, she talked to her friend or him instead of staying silent. Finding her strength. One day, she looked in the mirror and realized something shocking. She was no longer the scared little girl who cried in darkness. She was no longer the child who feared loud voices. She was no longer the person who believed she was unworthy of love. She was growing. She was healing. She was becoming stronger. For the first time, she understood that healing doesn't come from someone saving you. It comes when you choose to save yourself. Her trauma didn't define her anymore. Her past didn't control her future anymore. Her pain didn't decide her worth anymore. She decided she would not live in fear. She decided she would not blame herself for what happened. She decided she would not let her father's abuse destroy her life forever. The final turning point. Months later, she stood outside her old house, the house where she suffered for years. She was not there to meet her father. She was not there to forgive him. She was there for something more important. She was there to close the chapter. She stood quietly, remembering everything. The beatings. The insults. The fear. The tears. The nights she prayed for freedom. This time, she didn't cry. This time, she didn't feel weak. This time, she didn't feel broken. She whispered to herself, I survived. And that is enough. Then she turned around and walked away. A new beginning. Her story didn't end with pain. It ended with power. She learned that healing is not a straight line. It is slow, painful, and confusing, but possible. She now had a supportive mother, a caring stepfather, a true friend, and someone who understood her emotions. But most importantly, she had herself. She finally accepted that she was not weak, not broken, not unworthy, not the problem. She was a survivor. Her story became a message for anyone who suffered in silence. Your past may hurt, but it cannot control your future. You can heal, grow, and rise again. And that is how her journey, filled with fear, trauma, loss, love, friendship, and strength, finally reached the light.